everyone, my name is Mehek. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all fine, and like always, I also hope that you guys are reading. Back with another book of the week. Now, this review has been a little late. Have just been really sick the past 1 week, but we are back on track. Anyways, the book that I finished reading is Legacy. It's a paperback. It's by Nora Roberts. Now, those of you who don't know, Nora Roberts is my absolute favorite author. I mean, if I have to be honest, she's someone who really got me hooked on to some serious reading. I remember just picking up a Nora Roberts book and being so engrossed in it. And romance is one of my favorite genres. And I feel like, personally, that's my opinion. I feel that no one does romance better than Nora Roberts. I mean, she's also one of the reasons that I'm absolutely in love with Ireland. Most of her stories are based in Ireland, and I absolutely love that about it. So yeah, I remember reading her stories and adding Ireland to my dream destination. I also believe that no matter what mood you're in, there's always a Nora Roberts book for it. So I absolutely love Nora Roberts. Now, coming to the story, it's a suspense thriller. Again, I usually don't read thrillers, but if it's Nora Roberts, you have to. And I was really excited to pick her novel after really long, actually. Coming to the story, like I said, it's a suspense thriller. Our main character is Adrian. She is someone who is 7 years old, and the first time she meets her father, that is the time that he's trying to kill her. Now, her father is someone who has gone around and slept with many women. He's already married. And he's a college professor, but he's gone around and slept with many women. One of them happens to be Adrian's mom, and obviously she leaves him and moves on with her life, and here he is suddenly barging in the house and trying to kill Adrian because he comes to know of her existence and he's really trying to kill her. But thanks to Adrian's mom, Lina, who's around at that time, she fights him, and in that traumatic, violent episode, Adrian's father is killed. But moving on from there, now after this traumatic and violent episode in their life, what Lina does is she leaves Adrian with her grandparents. So they stay in Maryland, which is like a countryside. And she believes that her daughter is someone who needs time to heal, and she also needs time to move away from this. Now, Lina, Adrian's mom, is someone who has a thriving, business of her own. She's a fitness designer, as in she makes these really interesting fitness videos, health and fitness videos, and she uploads them online. And her business is really thriving. So she feels that, she'll just leave her daughter, Adrian, for summers with her grandparents, give her time to heal, whereas, she can just move on with her life and try and make her business grow. Now, this summer is one of the best times that Adrian has with her grandparents. This also gives her an opportunity to come close to them. And she makes lovely friends around during this time, and relationships that kind of have a lasting, effect in her life, and, relationships that are there till the very end. Post this summer in Maryland, Adrian moves to New York with her mother, and that's when her life starts. She becomes a teenager and she's going to this really nice private school. But for Adrian, her mother is never around. Entire book, their relationship is very cold and distant. Lina is someone who is very, I would say, ambitious and goal-oriented, and she's always, traveling for work. So their distance has been, the relationship has been very cordial between the mother and daughter. Anyways, for Adrian, she finds her calling. She knows that she's also someone who wants to get into the fitness industry. So while she's studying in this private school, I think she's 17 years old, she finds these nerds. One of them is a videographer and, like-minded people. And together with them, she makes a DVD, a new fitness regime and workout videos. And that's where her, career starts in fitness. Now, she gets immediate success with her first videos because, they're very interesting, and she brings these really new, fresh angle to the whole fitness video that her mom is already making. So her, career picks immediately. But what it also does is it attracts some unwanted attention. So what happens is Adrian starts receiving these threats from a poet. So he's literally sending her poems that are actually threat, that kind of underlying messages that he's soon going to come one day and kill her. Now initially the mother is like, it's okay, this is just a price that you pay for being popular. But as the years go by, the number of threats keep increasing. They're just an annual thing that Adrian keeps getting. Now, moving on, the other aspect of the story, there happens two very tragic deaths in Adrian's life, which kind of changes the course of her life altogether, because of which, she has to move her base from New York to Maryland, where her grandparents stay. Now, although her life kind of slows down, her business does not. She seems to be doing really great. She's made this amazing setup in the countryside, and also after her friends shift, the nerds that she found in the private school actually become her really close friends and a part of her best business team. So some of them actually move with her in the countryside. So business wise, she's doing absolutely well, and she's finally feeling settled and happy. Now, there is also someone else who has shifted to Maryland. This is a green-eyed boy that Adrian had a crush on when she was, I think, 7 years old. He happens to be the older brother of her best friend Maya. So the initial summers that she spent with her grandparents when she was 7, she befriended Maya. And this older brother, his name is Raylan. He has green eyes, and she has always had weakness for green eyes. And he has recently moved back to Maryland as well. He's a widower, and he's a very established, successful graphic novelist, and he also has 2 children. So he's kind of recovering from his wife's death, and it's actually very cute because they're both dogs. So Adrian and Raylan both have dogs, and they fall in love with each other. So that angle was very cute. Anyways, talking about the killer, the stalker who's been sending threats to Adrian, finally, towards the end of the book, the killer or the stalker finally comes, in front, because, as the threat keeps increasing every year, Adrian realizes that this is not just any random stalker, because suddenly the number of murders start increasing around her, and soon she realizes that it's not just her, but the people around her whose life is at threat. And finally, we have this episode or chapter where the killer comes in face with Adrian. But I have to say here, because I have read, other romance, suspense, thriller novels by Nora Roberts, and there is a lot of scare. Like, this killer creates a lot of this scare and, anxiety, and it's a very compelling plot. But here, I think that entire episode when the killer comes in front and we come to know who is that person, and the whole conversation, and the kind of the conclusion, it just fell flat for me. So that was my problem. Another thing is, I honestly thought the majority of this book was a thriller. But if you ask me, the suspense really comes towards the end. So, I think when the book is almost concluding, you have the suspense rising in the book. It's quite fast paced. I mean, it's fine, it's not that bad, but I think I expected a little more from my favorite author, you can say, because if you guys love romantic thrillers or suspense thrillers, you have to read Come Sundown by Nora Roberts. That's one book, again, a thick book, but that literally engrosses you, and there's this whole build-up of suspense that is happening right from page 1, which I think makes it so interesting. But here it kind of fell flat. There's always so much happening in the book, so there is obviously the mystery of who the killer and the stalker is. We read about Adrian's, how her life has changed, her evolving relationship with her mother. We read about her thriving business. We read about Raylan, who has come back and is kind of settling, back in his old life without his wife. And obviously the slow romance that is brewing between Raylan and Adrian. That is what we read about. Now, so if you're looking for some, I would say a romantic suspense thriller, this book is not for you. It's going to disappoint you. But if you're looking for just a book about characters, like the characters are really well shelled out in this book. You read so much about different characters, mostly. According to me, most of the I loved all the characters. I usually love all the characters by Nora Roberts. So you generally read about Raylan and Adrian, how they are making their life once they ship back to their hometown, and the suspense and the romance is a minute part of the whole deal, I would say. So yeah, that's what all about this book. But I hope you like the review. If you do, please don't forget to subscribe. And I'm going to see you guys next week with another title. Till then, take care. Bye bye.